everyone. I'm Mary Fain Brandt, the host of this show, Bite-Sized Tips for Busy Entrepreneurs. What's up, everybody? How was that intro? I'm over here like dancing in my chair. Hey, today we're talking about FOMO, a topic I know a lot about because I suffer from FOMO all the time. What the heck is FOMO? Fear of missing out. Hey, if Amy, Stephanie, Kendra, or Evie are watching or listening, remember that time I had FOMO about VidCon? I'm going to jump into that a little bit later, but let's start with, are you guys having trouble getting attendees to your events? And I'm not just talking about, dare I say, in-person events, but virtual events like live shows, podcasts, book launchings, live shows like this one, networking events, conferences, seminars, meetups, whatever you're putting together where you want people to gather. Are your numbers down? Are you not getting the attendance that you'd hope for? Are your hands shaking? Is your heart beating? Are you like, I just need 10 more people? Well, you know what? Don't worry, because I've got a secret weapon in my back pocket. Her name is May King, and she's joining us all the way over. I don't know which way, but all the way over from the other side of the pond. She's going to share with us how you can create FOMO for your next event. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Fain Brandt, CEO and host of the LinkedIn Bakery and the host of this show, Bite-Sized Tips for Busy Entrepreneurs, where I bring on interesting, smart, and savvy business owners who are experts in their industry to help you scale and grow your business with ease. So we're going to be talking about FOMO, how to create that FOMO for your next event, whether it's online or in person. But you know what? Enough about me. Let's bring the special guest star, the amazing, the fantabulous May King.
Hello there. What a wonderful introduction. How are you, Mary?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing all the better for seeing you.
Oh, you're so great. Hey, we've got some people joining us. I was like paging people. Tim Sohn is on here. He said, shout out to all your amazing guests. Tim, you know what? Shout out to my fans. Like Tim Sohn, I think is one of my biggest fans. He's always here supporting all the live streamers here on the platform. So Tim, thank you. He said, Make King is so amazing at making FOMO. Insert applause sounds here. That's right. Vivica Hess, you made it. Thank you for joining us. I know there were a few people that were really excited to be part, to tune in today. So I was like trying to tag them and trying to do some shout outs because I don't want them to miss this amazing episode of Bite Size Tips for Busy Entrepreneurs. So May King, we met, I don't know, is it 3-4 years ago at Social Media Marketing World?
It seems that way, doesn't it?
It does. I think it's 4 years. I think it's going on 4 years now. Wow. And so we kind of knew each other online, but then I put together this lunch with an accent. I know, weird. I don't have an official name for it, but it was if you were at the conference and you had an accent, I put together a lunch at one of my favorite places, the local downtown. And that's where this all started, all this fun and just great conversations and getting to know each other. So lunch with an accent. So I'll be doing that again in 2022. Lunch with an accent. We'll maybe grow the group a little bit. But I've been following you and you do have a knack, for creating this FOMO, which we all want, right? And I see it happen to myself, right? So I have FOMO for events like VidCon when Stephanie, Kendra, Amy, we're all going to VidCon and I wanted to go. I was having FOMO because they were talking about it. VidCon was talking about it and I couldn't go. They were like, no, Mary, you can't go until you finish. I had a project I was working on. So before we dive into FOMO for other people, why don't you give the audience a little background on where you're at, what time it is, because that's pretty amazing. God bless you. And, your experience and how you created this, because this really wasn't a business or a position, that I'm aware of until I heard it from you, really. So tell us how you created this opportunity for yourself.
So I'm live all the way from Sheffield in the United Kingdom. So it's the 5th biggest city in the UK. It's 10 o'clock, so it's late o'clock in the evening. I've been creating FOMO for my own business for many years. And then when I first prospected to my first client, they said, sure, yeah. Well, why don't you do some live tweeting, bit of Facebooking, bit of Instagram as well for us? And it was actually the fabulous Andrew and Pete, who you'll know, Mary, and hopefully some of your listeners will know, who coined the phrase FOMO creator, because prior to that, I was a professional live tweeter. I was a social media correspondent. I was a live content creator. Duh, that's a boring title, right? So all of that is really encapsulated into FOMO. And I just want to qualify something, because earlier today I ran a Twitter Spaces, and one person actually asked me, FOMO, what do you mean by that? And FOMO is the fear of missing out. And on a personal front, people want the joy of missing out. They want the joy of missing out, and they don't want to compete with the Joneses and see what their neighbors or friends and colleagues are having, and getting in a sadness that they have not got the material goods or whatever that they have. But in a business sense, it is a good thing. It's a positive thing. If you create buzz and excitement beyond the four walls of your in-person event or your hybrid event, a virtual conference, networking networking webinar, whatever it is, if you can create that live content, that buzz and excitement beyond, the realms of where you are, then that's FOMO. Because as you said, Mary, you got FOMO seeing what other people were up to and you wanted to go.
I had FOMO so bad. I was like, okay, if I finish this project, if I take vacation time, because I was working full time, I was like, I can make this happen. Like literally, I was like, how do I make it happen? Because the people I know and trust and like were all going. It was an event I had wanted to go to, and then they were doing a great job at promoting it. So yes, I have FOMO a lot. Let's be real. You know what? Because I always want to learn and meet new people. So I'm out, I call it also SOS, shiny object syndrome. Like,
Yeah, no, I can certainly relate to that to a certain extent. But FOMO, as I say, as a marketing strategy, it bridges the gap between social media and PR. And so, on top of your existing strategy, whatever your goal is, so let's say you want to, sell tickets to an up and coming conference, summit, or a webinar, or a digital challenge, you want to get people involved, then creating that buzz and excitement to entice people, entice your lurkers. Okay. So we're creating content for the lurkers. You want to entice those to actually get involved in the challenge or buy a ticket or come to the webinar, that kind of thing. And that's where the FOMO kicks in.
I'm so sorry. I'm breaking news, you guys. I have creator mode on LinkedIn. And as Viveka said, my background banner just went Harry Potter, which means I am streaming live in my background banner on LinkedIn. Why is that important? Because LinkedIn does not make it easy to find our lives. So, and then I've got people over on LinkedIn saying, where's the link? I no longer have to say that. I just go to my profile. I'll be broadcasting there. So sorry to interrupt this news station.
That's
and this,
amazing.
FOMO report, but this is huge news. So
congratulations.
Thank you, Viveka. Thank you. I'm super excited. That's the whole reason I switched to creator mode. The entire reason. Okay.
That's
this is
amazing.
going to be such a fun show. Such a fun show. Ron, I hope that you found it. Just go to my LinkedIn profile. Hopefully you're going to find that. I'm just trying to manage the comments over here. Thank you, Viveka, for that alert. So I know, May King, that you do an amazing job and you win contests on FOMO, right?
Yes.
Like Twitter contests, Instagram. Like I've seen, okay. People, you got to listen. I've seen this woman in action. I don't know what kind of tea she's drinking, but that stuff is crazy tea because I've never seen someone tweeting, posting so fast and accurately. Like I can post fast, but it'll be gibberish. Y'all know even when I slow down, my dyslexia kicks in. My eyes see one thing, my fingers type another, but her stuff is so fast and accurate. And you're getting replies to your tweets and your Instagram. I'm amazed at what you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I mean, that's all part of the FOMO service, right? So, for my clients, it is about, building on top of your brand, and building that community and bringing them closer. So if you respond to them and make the event about them, then they'll feel really part of the community and get so buzzed and excited that they want to tell the world about who you are and what you're doing. And so, that's the first thing, in the first step to creating FOMO is to really, not look at your fans and followers. They are a number, but look at the community that you've built. When you're posting, who is communicating with you, who is liking your posts, who's commenting on your posts and responding to those on a regular basis. It's the whole point of FOMO. Well, there's actually 3 types of FOMO. There's pre-FOMO, live FOMO, and post-FOMO. So with pre-FOMO, that is about drawing your community in and talking to them on a regular basis and getting all excited about, your up and coming challenge, event, conference, and really making it about them and giving some extra value to show what people are going to miss out on if they don't come along.
I love that. Well, we have some of my own brand ambassadors here, like Tim and Vivica joining us, and Randy over here on, I think, LinkedIn. We're over here. I'm trying to monitor all the comments. So I just love seeing you in action. I love the results that you get too. Can you share with us maybe some, I'm just curious, I'm putting you on the spot, but do you have any statistics of like when you've worked on a campaign, or when I say campaign, like creating that FOMO for an event? Can you share with us like some results that maybe your clients got?
Yeah, so I mean, when the my first client, Andrew and Pete, on top of a coordinated social media strategy and the FOMO that I had generated, before and during the event, the results was that 425 tickets were sold within a week. Following on from the conference, so that's one example. For a digital challenge that I was involved with, again on top of a coordinated social media, advertising and FOMO strategy, there was a 5% conversion of the 1,200 participants that attended the challenge. And on day 3 was when they actually opened up the cart to sell the course, and 5% had bought the course. So there is definitely ROI in my services. It depends on the goal. But yeah, that's just a couple of examples there.
Those are great examples. I'm trying to get some people, so I'm so excited because I'm live on LinkedIn where people can find me. But someone was on LinkedIn and they're like, I'm on Facebook. I'm like, it's right here on LinkedIn. Just go there. That's easier now. Gotta love all the platforms and YouTube. So, and yes, Andrew and Pete are amazing, but that you sold 425 tickets in 1 week.
Yeah.
That's crazy good. Oh my gosh. So we talked, like, it starts with your branding, and then it really, the branding starts with FOMO. FOMO starts with your branding. And then you talked about how building the relationships, like the Tim, the Ron, the Vivicas, the people that are watching, that's nurturing the relationships and getting them excited to come join us. Vivica, Tim, Ron, Randy, do you guys got any questions? Please drop your Q's down there. Just type in Q and then your questions. So I'll look for that. But then momentum. So you've got the before, the during. How do you do it during? Like, I'm hosting this show, right? I'm hosting, I'm producing. So do you hire someone like you? Is that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, with the opportunity and the building relationships and the building momentum, this is in the lead up to the event. So this is what as I explained, pre-FOMO. In fact, Tim Sohn and I worked together at a conference, and we created some pre-FOMO. So I actually interviewed some of the speakers that were going to be at the conference ahead of time. And that gives a little bit of a sneak preview of what people are going to miss out on if they don't buy a ticket, right? So this is, so these are the kind of things that people can really, put in on top of their social media strategy, or their email, the email strategy, and so on. And by interviewing and by showcasing, the behind the scenes stuff, FOMO is really about creating your own. I call it your own Truman Show. I don't know if you remember that film. Yeah. So Jim Carrey's character was filmed 24/7, apart from when he popped to the bathroom. But he did not know he was being filmed all the time. Now, us as business owners, as creators, we do have the power. We do decide what to show out to the outside world. And in building those relationships and drawing your community closer and getting them buzzed and excited, we need to show sneak peeks of, behind the scenes of what's going to happen at the conference. At in-person conferences, it'll be, pictures of the lanyard or pictures of lunch or dinner or, that kind of stuff. But also, a conference that I helped to create pre-FOMO for, a virtual event. I coordinated, people who did buy tickets. I got them to create a little video of themselves to explain why they were coming to the event and who they were looking forward to seeing. So we're really making the conference about the attendees. We're not making it about the conference organizer. We're making it about the attendees, because if attendees see a video, if the lurkers see videos of attendees who are going, they may think, I'm like that attendee. I think I need to go and check this out. So making the conference about your community, about the ticket holders, about the lurkers, what they're missing out on.
Gotcha.
That is how you can draw people in by, and that's how you sort of build the strengthening those relationships, build that momentum, and like I say, doing interviews and that kind of stuff.
And I know that you and I are going to be working together next month on creating FOMO for my masterclass series. So you guys, you can see it in action. It's going to be amazing. So Viveka is another LinkedIn expert like myself. She focuses on helping attorneys. And she also has, her live show is lunch. What is it, Viveka? LinkedIn, it's lunch and lawyers. So she wants to know on how to, she wanted some pointers on how to create FOMO around her LinkedIn show. And then I'm going to put this comment up, Viveka. So she tried to create the event this morning and LinkedIn crashed. The irony this month is it's Law Tech Talk. And she said that she loves the sneak peeks. Perhaps she should show herself tearing out her hair right now. That would be entertaining. And I want to talk about that, because I think that we need to get past the fear of actually showing the ugly side. For certain things, like, oh my gosh, the tech isn't working. Anybody else frustrated? Like, that ugly side, not tearing out your hair and not throwing your laptop across the room. But how do you feel? Like, what are some tips? So a lot of people that are watching, they have their own live show. So we do the posts, that's kind of boring stuff, but we do the social media posts and the email. Do we show ourselves prepping for the show? Do we show notes? What are a couple ideas that you think would work for people who have their own live streaming show?
Yeah, all of that. As you said, Mary, with a lot of people who have a show, they would create the event and say, looking forward to, this speaker or, and that kind of thing. And that's maybe 2 posts, but showing, like you say, you just taking a photograph of your show notes, or, if you've got a special guest, maybe you can invite your connections to ask questions ahead of time and see, what kind of questions that, that they'd like to ask. So Lawyers Lunch and Launch is the name of your show, Viveka. So, maybe showcasing some of the posts that you've read on LinkedIn and seeing, and maybe, talking about those, the things that you've learned, and maybe drawing on those experiences and writing that into a LinkedIn post, and, and definitely give, a little bit of a sneak peek of what's in store. If you've got, 5 points to address, then maybe, bring in 1 or 2 points ahead of time, and show just just enough to get people excited. So
I love it.
Most people, I'd say a lot of people will create some marketing of one post and then it's the show itself. But then, if you've got a show that is broadcast on a regular basis, then you've got the live FOMO, which is, as I say, you can either hire someone or definitely address the comments underneath that, so that you can draw more people to, draw more people to the show afterwards, so that people can watch the replay. And then, of course, you've got your snippets, haven't you? So your post FOMO, where you draw out the best bits and then, and then recreate some blog posts on that, or share it on another platform if you happen to be on another platform like Twitter or Instagram or something like that. So, the marketing doesn't stop when the live show is done, because you've got the following week to talk about. So, you can definitely draw on, what you missed out last week, but what's going to happen next week as well. And, when you're watching your favorite show on TV, on satellite and what have you, they will have several adverts that repeat itself to showcase that show. So you also need to do the same, think of creative ways of showcasing that you've got this up and coming show in various ways.
I love it. So Viveka, I just had an off the wall idea. Since yours is lawyers, lunch, and launch, ask people what they're having for lunch. They get bonus points if they post a picture. They can be entered in a raffle for like a gift card for a free lunch. I'm just throwing silly ideas out there because I'm a cupcake lover, like the LinkedIn bakery and cupcakes. I was like, what if I said, hey, everyone who posts 2 questions for my upcoming live show is going to be entered in a raffle for, a dozen cupcakes. I'll have them shipped. I'll, find a local bakery. I don't know. You like that? Oh, Viveka said, good idea. I'll record some preppy, thinking through the questions, finding great interviewees, and making sure my pup. Oh, if you have a dog, Viveka, people love animals and kids. I would totally do some behind the scenes with, hey, I have a friend who posts a picture of her cat that's always on her desk in different places. And you could say you have a special co-host. That would be
I mean, this is awesome stuff, Viveka. And I forgot to mention, so my first name is actually May King. It's a bit confusing because it's 2 words. There's a space and there's no hyphen. But it is May King because I'm on all the socials as making tea. May King, making tea.
Get it. It's hilarious.
But yeah, this is all great stuff, and I'm assuming that if you're doing a show every week, then you will be doing a lot of stuff in the lead up to the event. So showcase it. Create your own Truman Show, create your own reality TV show, and showcase what you're doing. Because every time you show that little piece of something, a little sneak behind the scenes, that's just a soft way of letting people know about your event, rather than the cold, hard way of come to my event next Wednesday at at 6:00. So
I love it. I'm totally thinking of doing some kind of like. Anyone who shows up for all of my lives for the month of June or July, we'll have to put it out there, will receive a dozen cupcakes. And you have to put a comment in. Like, you have to show up and I have to see your name. I don't know. I was thinking, so Vamp Boss Founders, cupcakes, thank you, right? Who doesn't like cupcakes? I don't know. Thank you, Making. You might have just... give me an idea. So cupcakes might be my new thing, and I can just ship them. I can find a local bakery or something to go deliver, half a dozen cupcakes or something like that.
There you go.
Cupcakes cheer up everyone.
They certainly do.
So we talked about your brand. We talked about really nurturing the relationships that you have to help you create the FOMO. So that's, to me, that goes to that user-generated content. But what I really took away from this session was make your events about the attendees, not about you. Ask them to post pre-pictures and post pictures, right? So kind of like social media marketing world. Who doesn't have FOMO about that? I mean, I don't, because I go all the time, right? But seeing, we posted pictures this year about last year's event because this year's event didn't happen. So anyone doing an annual event, make sure that your attendees, right? Maybe they could start posting pictures for that next event. And then on the day of, do we have any tips for like the day of? What should we be doing really to create that, oh my God moment?
Oh, absolutely. So, as I say, we want to make it about the attendees. We want to make it about, the sponsors as well. The sponsors have, paid you to, sponsor the event, but make a big feature of them. So, make it enticing for people to actually create some content for you. So you definitely need a hashtag way ahead of time so that, the FOMO creator can search on the hashtag and draw, and raise awareness about it, either by retweeting or resharing it on Instagram, or writing a LinkedIn post about it, or sharing it in the, the LinkedIn stories or Facebook stories, doing Facebook Live. So there's lots of things that you can do to, entice your attendees to actually post about it as well. So, give them, run lots of competitions and give some vouchers or cupcakes, and a lot of conferences, or digital challenges, and they'll have some kind of competition, like the most engaged person, or the number one tweeter, or the person with the best social media post, or the one that has the most engagement. So all of these little things that you can get the attendees to post in order to get involved in that buzz and excitement. These are the kind of things that you can do. When you have a social media manager who is busy running around doing bits and pieces, they may have time to take a photo before the event, on the morning of the event, but they don't have time to create FOMO during the event, which is why you need a dedicated person to create that FOMO for you. So, so the FOMO creator will know what is FOMO enough to post onto your clients, onto your clients' socials, the right kind of content. And it's not just about, whatever the speaker's talking about. It's about, it's just, it's more than just what the speakers are talking about. It's also the buzz and excitement that the attendees are generating.
I was going to say, it's like what the attendees are talking about, which could be about the speakers, and parts of it will be about the speakers, but some of it might be about the networking event, or the raffle prize, or the unofficial meetups going on, or the lunches with accents. I'm just saying, that's a hot thing, and I'm bringing it back in 2022. We had Annette McDonald join us. She said good morning, because I guess it's morning time. She's from down under there. So we have a couple more questions over here. So Vivica is all over this. Anything clever in connection with stories? So I believe that we should all be using stories, but King, you're the expert in the FOMO. How do we use stories for that FOMO?
Yeah, again, it's just showcasing what's happening at the moment. How excited are you? And it's about reporting live about what's going on. So up next, the takeaways that you got from the speakers. If there was some silliness or giddiness between some attendees, definitely go and report that into the stories. And also, the GIFs and the emojis can really help to enhance, enhance the stories as well. Just again to bring life into that picture that you may have captured in a virtual setting. It's a good idea, because you're sat in front of your computer, but you need to create really good, compelling photographs in order to put into the story. So there's a little bit of a process behind that, but it is definitely worth it, because that is, a reflection of your brand. With the attendees, they'll probably use their mobile to take a picture of the computer. The phone to take a picture of the computer. But for the client itself, use your computer to capture a screenshot to then push onto the stories via your phone. And that takes a little bit more time at a virtual setting, but it's definitely worth it.
Totally worth it. That's why people hire you. But before we get to that, Vivica said sometimes she's seen partially covered wording or image to create curiosity.
Oh, yeah.
I love this. So now it's
Yeah.
making me think about the images we just created for LinkedIn Remastered. And I'm like, oh, like maybe you cover the headshot of the guest speaker.
Yeah.
And maybe you just put the topic and they're like, I want to learn about that. Who is speaking?
Exactly.
Like, I think that would be, I think hiding their face, but not the topic. Am I on the right
Absolutely.
track? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Sweet. Oh my gosh. I am going to go back, folks, and listen to this episode again because there are so many nuggets of tips and trends and thoughts that we all can use, whether, you know, you're a solopreneur or an agency, or you've got a couple, maybe you have a VA that can help you with some of these ideas that make king. And if not making, how do people reach out to you? What is, I know your platform, I think, is Twitter, then Instagram, and then I would say LinkedIn is like third or fourth on your list.
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, you've got making, oh, there we are, making signs. And then Twitter and Instagram is making tea.
I love making tea. That is so cute. So you guys, I always like to encourage everyone that's watching, connect with my guests. Even if you're not in the position to hire a FOMO creator at this moment, she's amazing. She knows people. You want this woman in your network. So at least reach out, connect, tell her that, you know, you saw her episode on bite-sized tips for busy entrepreneurs, and she'll accept that connection request or friend request or whatever it's called on all those other platforms. And finally, I know you had an offer, and you know what? I put let me find it. I put the image up in StreamYard, but I didn't check it till today. And so it doesn't quite fit. So anyone who is looking to hire their first FOMO creator, right? Making has created a special offer for those of you watching. So why don't you just go ahead and tell everybody, like, what is that special offer? Or how do they find it? How do they sign up?
Well, it's really about giving advice to yourself. So if you've enjoyed the advice that I've given you so far, but you just need a bit of a deep dive, then connect with me on LinkedIn and we can talk a little bit more about that.
You used my favorite platform. Thank you. I love it. This has been such a great episode, May King. You are a fabulous and fun and informative guest. I appreciate you and your time because I know it's 10:35 p.m. where you're at. So I love you for hanging, for staying up, being so energized, full of tips. You guys, please connect with this woman. And before we go, I'm sorry. Let me go back over here to my little script, just bullet points. I have a rapid fire that I do with all guests at the end. I'm going to say 2 words. I want you to pick one. Only one. You can't replace the word. You can't make it up. You can't insert what you really want to say. I will not embarrass you. These are all easy choices. And the reason I do this is so we can get to know you just a little better. So are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Flip-flops or boots?
Boots.
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Country or rock and roll?
Rock and roll, yeah.
Beaches or mountains?
Gosh. Beaches because it's near the sea.
Yeah, that makes sense. Beaches are usually near the sea. Okay, now I typically say baseball or football. So would that be soccer or rugby for you?
Yeah, I guess so. So soccer or football.
Okay. Movies or a nap? Which would you prefer?
Oh, films, without a doubt. Movies.
Okay. You're like, movies. What the heck is she talking about? Miniature golf or real golf?
Oh my. Miniature golf.
Okay. Cat or dog?
Cat.
Yay. Wine or whiskey?
Oh my. Oh my. Wine because there's more volume, but drink responsibly, folks.
Yeah, always drink responsibly. We're not promoting alcohol here. Well, thank you. Ron said, great discussion. Vivica said, really good stuff. She said she's already sent a request to connect over on LinkedIn. And Vivica said tea. Of course, I don't give that option. I could, but I'm going to add coffee or tea, but we know what you drink. It'd be tea, right?
Yeah, and Tim Sohn and I, he always says coffee to me, so I'll say tea to him. So that's our little spat that we have.
Coffee all the way, folks. Cold coffee, hot coffee, iced coffee, green coffee, black coffee, coffee. So thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. And guess what? I'm going live twice today. So come back here at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time I have my new show called 15 Minutes of Fame. And this show is 15 minutes of business tips, LinkedIn tips, platforms and programs. And it's seriously 15 minutes, down and dirty, sweet and short. I'm going to go live right here again on the channels that you're watching, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I have a great topic tonight. So we'll see you at 5 o'clock for that. Capitalize social media. That's Amy Iram. She said tea all the way. Oh, Amy used to be a coffee drinker. And Ron also said he reached out to connect with you, May. They have a project that they want to discuss with you. I need to be getting like an agent fee because the last 3 guests have gotten new clients. It's amazing. But I love it. I'm here to support my other entrepreneurs and business owners. So you guys have a great day. We're going to end with a little video.